20 funniest band commercials ever.
Did you bring anything for the clothing drive?
No.
Too bad. You get a free Bud Light for every article of clothing you donate.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 funniest band commercials.
The big orange fella ran in from the left, and he gives him a good old slapping.
We've got chemistry here. You feel it?
I felt it.
All right, Janice.
For this list,
The
we're
hell,
looking
that
at
guy
hilarious
died.
ads that were pulled from screens. Some of these commercials may have kept running in certain areas. However, if the ad was banned or pulled at any point in any place in the world, it is eligible for this list. Let us know in the comments which commercial you can't believe advertisers ever thought was a good idea. Number 20, Cheesy Dads, Philadelphia Cheese. In 2019, the United Kingdom began enforcing legislation that banned, quote, harmful gender stereotypes in advertisements. A light Philadelphia cheese commercial felt the brunt of this new directive when it was released.
Poor baby.
The ad shows two dads in a coffee shop that had a conveyor belt delivering various cheese-based products snaking around the shop floor.
Oh, this looks good. That's really good. Well, that's the Philadelphia.
Enticed by a cream cheese bagel, the
your
dads
babies.
absent-mindedly put their babies on the conveyor belt. Fortunately, their children were unharmed.
Let's not self-harm.
The ad was banned for supposedly making dads look careless and for stereotyping women as more capable caregivers. However, we'd
come
argue that
on.
anyone would have been enticed by that cheese in this amusing ad.
Yeah.
Our view was that this ad really featured a kind of classic daddy doofus stereotype and basically suggests that men are less capable of looking after their children than women, and that is harmful.
Number 19,
Elizabeth.
a flatulent
It's funny
first
too,
date.
come on.
Smart beep. Most people would probably find this ad relatively inoffensive.
just farted.
A woman who thinks she's alone in a car lets one rip while her date is outside the vehicle. However, his friends are in the back.
You guys meet? Greg, Janice?
We sure did.
The
Shit.
commercial says the Bachelorette's
Oh,
behavior was dumb
shit.
before highlighting its smart beeper. While a funny fart joke might not be the best way to sell a product,
this
surely people can't
ad?
get that upset about a normal bodily function. Well, the censors at Fox apparently did.
Call 1-800-BEEP-199 for other smart stuff.
They took issue with this flatulent smart beef
fart
commercial and
joke.
had it pulled. Outside of Fox, the commercial star Claire Solstrom appeared on The Late Late Show to talk about how fun the fart was to shoot.
Well, the audition, I didn't know it was for a fart.
went on an interview
my
to
agent
talk
didn't tell
about
me.
the
I
fart.
guess they told a lot of people.
They always leave that part out.
Yeah, they knew I'd do it. They knew I'd go in.
Number 18, Kim Cattrall's car commercial, Nissan
This
Tita.
actress.
Though Sex and the City had been off the air for around 2 years when this ad aired, Kim Cattrall was brought in to reprise her role as Samantha for this Nissan commercial. It's made in the same style as the sultry show, with Cattrall dishing about the ride of her life over the phone.
Really smooth, great looking, amazing body.
She's hilariously talking about the Nissan Tita and not her latest fling.
It was so much bigger than I expected.
But that wasn't enough for New Zealand's regulators. While the innuendos in her dialogue were the only provocative part of the ad, it received complaints. Nissan eventually decided to get ahead of the scandal and pull the ad themselves.
Bro, come on.
feel really,
Oh yeah.
really good inside.
Number 17, A Bad Place.
I think maybe it's brought a divorce or two. You enter the room and the ad is on TV and you're like to the man, like you just hear and you don't see what's going on. You're like, okay, I'm done.
To read.
Cheater.
Audible. You wouldn't think an ad for Audible would have anything offensive in it, let alone dangerous, but the Australians didn't agree.
Can't think of a better time for a book.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
Popular Aussie comedian Celeste Barber starred in this spot about finding opportunities to listen to an audiobook during your daily routine. She's joined by Po Ling Yao of MasterChef fame.
Audible is amazing when you're cooking up a
Audible
storm.
is awesome, yeah.
Oh,
What's cooking, Po?
A scene where Barber is jokingly found sitting inside Poe's refrigerator earned the ire of regulators. There were claims that the commercial was dangerous because impressionable viewers might copy the chilling act.
Hey.
Outside of the controversial
Because she was sitting in a fridge.
scene, it's still a fun Audible ad. Number 16,
Come
a
on.
time of the month talk show, Tampax. The funniest thing about this ad is the idea that Tampax would ever have its own talk show just to advertise menstrual products.
How many of you ever feel your tampon?
But the whole point of talking about that time of the month went over a lot of people's heads. Unfortunately, the ad was widely complained about and ultimately banned in Ireland for being offensive.
It might mean your tampon isn't in far enough. You gotta get them up there, girls.
In an ironic twist, the ban might have been more slammed than the ad. People rightfully pointed out that there's nothing vulgar about talking about an incredibly...
She just gave an advice. If it's slipping away, just shove it in deeper. We're talking about tampons, guys, okay?
common item half the population uses. And the commercial's humor was a great way to get an important message across.
Not just the tip, up to the grip.
Not just the
So
tip.
get them up there, girl, with Tampax.
Number
Get it up
15,
there.
inappropriate shaking. For goodness shakes. Moving from
Okay, that
one
was
part
a
of the
bit
human
weird.
body to another, this protein shake commercial implies that the men it stars are doing something incredibly inappropriate in public places. The men are actually trying to get their protein shakes just right.
So funny.
Luckily, For Goodness Shakes is here to provide protein shakes that are ready to drink right away. So, unlike the men in this ad, you will avoid any hilarious mix-ups in public while trying to mix your protein drink. The commercial's logical explanation didn't prevent it from being seen as too edgy for TV. It is not surprising to hear it was banned by the UK's advertising authority.
That's so creative. I don't understand why this
Number
is banned.
14.
This is banned, but the machine that you do this, you know, that machine for muscle contraction,
Cheated
whatever.
out of chicken. Burger King. Above being racy or inappropriate, there's another big issue lots of advertisers face when making their
Shake
commercials.
weights, yeah.
They're not supposed to lie or mislead the audience. That is exactly why a humorous Burger King ad from 2010 was banned in the UK. It shows a man who snuck out to a motel room to enjoy the new tender crisp chicken.
Oh, why
but
does
he's
it look
caught
so
in the
big?
act by a jealous
When I buy
cow
a
that
burger
wants
in
him to
Burger
eat
King, it
beef
looks so
instead.
much smaller.
Sweetie.
It wasn't banned because of the implication that this man has a weird connection with a jealous cow. Nope. It was pulled because the real tender crisp chicken sandwich is a lot smaller than the one shown.
Exactly my point. Literally. If I order this, it would be this tiny. This is the biggest burger in Burger King in Germany. This size. That's it. If you want a bigger one, it just maybe goes taller, but it doesn't go wider. You know? It can be this thin and then this big. That's it. That's it.
So good, you'll cheat on beef.
Number 13,
Never.
taking care
So
of
small.
chores. Vodka vodka. This ad from 2011 was allegedly banned for its gender stereotypes. It was part of a long-running campaign by Vodka Vodka, a Polish liquor company. In this commercial, a woman says she'll get the house clean and cook a nice dinner for her partner while he's at work.
Look at nice woman.
I'll make you a nice dinner.
Love you. Bye.
So nice.
But it's revealed that her private profession involves her forcing male clients to do household chores.
2 cups flour. Stir. Don't streak. Faster. Stir.
Either the racy
Bro,
content
okay, this
or
is not a
depiction
good
of a woman
commercial.
being placed in a traditional role might have earned the ad a ban. As offensive as some may have found it, the commercial features funny and creative problem solving. Though, admittedly, it's not entirely clear what any of this has to do with vodka.
You like? I slaved all day.
Number 12.
you did,
An
sure.
orange man tangos too hard. Tango. This tango ad features a man painted orange going up and slapping another man who's just opened a can of Tango, an orange-flavored soda sold in the UK.
Why is he standing like this?
Yes, Tony, let's look again.
This hit apparently represents the overwhelming tang you taste when you take your first sip. This silly commercial was banned in the UK after it allegedly caused an epidemic of impressional viewers slapping each
People
other.
slapping each other. Yeah, exactly.
oranges in
This would be a
Tango.
TikTok
Yes,
thing
Ralph.
now.
Super taste sensation, smashing drink, lovely.
After news of these supposed incidents broke, the ad was pulled from the air and replaced with a less violent orange man. Despite the controversy,
violent
the
orange
You Know When You've Been Tangoed campaign continued to bring wild success to the company.
Whoa! He's enveloped by the big wet pot of oranges and Tango.
Number 11. Everybody's doing it. PS Vita. This is another ad that initially seems like it was only banned for being far too suggestive. In the commercial, a doctor claims viewers are doing it far more often than is healthy.
How many times did you do it yesterday? Are you afraid you're doing it too often?
Obviously, by doing it, she means playing on Sony's handheld PlayStation Vita with the new remote play feature.
You no longer have to feel ashamed. Everybody's doing it because it's fantastic.
This funny remote play commercial turned out to be no laughing matter for Sony. The ad was lambasted for being misleading about Vita function, as well as its inappropriate
How many did you
phrasing.
do it yesterday?
Sony claimed it was cross-platform gaming.
Don't answer that
you're just
question.
streaming
I'm
your
just
console to a
joking.
handheld.
Don't you dare.
And if you want to, you could even join me.
Ultimately, this doctored ad and more
doctor.
like
She
it
has no
caused
time
the
for
company
this.
to lose money over false advertising. Number 10, rooting against
False
England.
advertising. Doctors don't have time to play on PlayStation.
Six Nations Rugby Championship.
England!
When you initially watch this commercial, it seems like everybody is supporting the English rugby team in the lead up to 2012's Six Nations Rugby Championship.
England.
No doubt.
But you'll see a hilariously unexpected truth when you look closer.
England. England.
England.
The people voicing their support for England are wearing flags and coats of arms from different countries that also compete. Fans from Wales, Ireland, and Italy are all seen. The tagline reveals that these people are actually naming the country they want to lose the tournament. The BBC pulled the trailer over fears it would upset the English, before pulling another similar ad in 2017.
Oh yeah, this is kind of
Number 9,
racy, you know?
hiding a fling. Hyundai. In this car commercial, we see an older woman driving with a much younger man in her vehicle. She then sees her husband driving in a different car up ahead and puts the passenger seat all the way back so the husband won't see her companion. At the end of the commercial, though, it's revealed that the husband, also driving a Hyundai, is hiding an affair too. It just so happens that he's accompanied by a young man wearing a cowboy hat. It's unclear exactly what about this ad got it banned, but either way, it was a clever way to show off a car's passenger seat.
Marriages be like
Number
that.
8, prison visitor. Vim cream. We open on a shot of a woman behind a glass screen and her young daughter seemingly visiting her in prison. But it's quickly revealed that the mom isn't in prison at all. She's actually trapped in her bathtub.
I gotta get back.
Any adult knows that cleaning the bathroom is probably the worst of all household jobs. Vim offered to expedite the process with its flashy cleaning cream.
I love you, Mama.
I love you too, baby.
Despite being widely acclaimed in the advertising world, this ad was supposedly pulled at one time. Maybe the prison setup was too much for some viewers to handle.
Come on.
Number 7,
Maybe it's because
risking
of kids.
dudeness. Veet. Unlike many other contentious commercials, these ads were part of an extensive campaign, so there are quite a few of them that all follow the same trend. They went out in 2014 and implied that a woman forgetting to shave or wax for a day would make her turn into an extremely hairy man.
I shaved yesterday.
Multiple people, including a
that's a
beautician,
bit
a
mean.
cab driver, and an extremely judgmental paramedic, were horrified at the existence of body hair on a woman.
I shaved yesterday.
We understand that Veet is a company that makes hair.
Oh, this is really mean. It makes women so conscious about their bodies like this. It's never that terrible. This is clearly a man's leg. Like,
removal
what are you
products and
talking
needs to
about?
advertise them. But despite some potential for sharp social commentary, pretty much everybody felt these commercials missed the mark.
Don't risk dudeness.
Number 6, lab rat test.
Because how dare you be a dude?
Nintendo Game Boy Micro. The Game Boy
How
took
dare
the
you
world
have
by
hairs?
storm as a
Like,
wildly
guys.
popular handheld. Its micro version rounded out the Game Boy family when it was released in 2005. But one ad could have ruined Nintendo's mostly family-friendly image.
Like you
We
put a
see
rat and then he has
placed
to
in a
choose
maze
between
with a
cheese
Game Boy
and
and a piece of cheese. Scientists
It's
need
leading.
to test whether the food or handheld is more irresistible. Naturally, the rat chooses the Game Boy. But things definitely cross a line when the rat
Sure.
appreciates the Game Boy Micro way too much. Given the inappropriate content in a commercial aimed at kids, it's easy to see why this hilariously unexpected ad
Nice
may
one.
have been downplayed. Number 5, Grim Reaper, Hyundai Veloster. Although it's always good for any car manufacturer to focus on how safe its latest vehicle is, Hyundai definitely took it a little too far in this commercial for the Veloster.
Hey, this is terrifying, bro. What is this commercial? Nightmares? Imagine this commercial is the last thing you see before sleeping.
Weet je het zeker?
Ja, echt. Het laatste stukje loop ik wel hoor.
In it, we see a woman being driven home in a Ford Focus. Unfortunately, she forgets to look both ways when she gets out.
Oh, the Reaper.
She immediately gets into a car accident thanks to the Grim Reaper's influence.
Oké, tot snel.
We then see the same scenario play out again, but this time she's in a Hyundai Veloster. Since it's a 3-door, she gets out on the other side and avoids the accident, while the Grim Reaper gets a hilarious comeuppance.
Tot snel.
In a rare instance, Hyundai decided to take the ad out of rotation before it was fully banned.
Number 1 door on the left, 2 on the right? That's the design of the car? That is so dumb! What a dumb design! What if you get on the right and there is a car?
4. Standoff. Xbox 360.
I don't get
At
it.
the beginning of the Xbox 360's life cycle, Microsoft advertised its new flagship console a little aggressively.
dumb, bro.
Though it was a
Who bought
great
that
device,
car?
the company's standoff ad wasn't as well
I
regarded.
hope none of you has
It was
that car,
meant to be
guys.
an innocent ad where strangers used imaginary finger guns in a big pretend showdown. The commercial was even shown off by Microsoft at a few promotional events and was presumably intended to be put on TV. While the commercial was played for fun, there were questions if the ad was making light of violent acts. In yet another example,
Bro, we play FPS games every day, and a commercial with handguns is a violent act? Jesus
of a company
Christ.
trying to avoid future controversy,
Are you
Microsoft
growing
decided not to
Smurfs
air
or
the ad.
actual
The
kids,
zany
human
finger
beings?
gun battle was left to only exist in our imaginations.
They literally treat kids like rats, like animals, like as if they don't have brain by themselves to think. So dumb.
Number 3, clothing drive, Bud Light. In this attention-grabbing Super Bowl ad, an office clothing drive promises to give people a Bud Light for every item of clothing donated.
Morning, Bob. Morning, Jim.
This leads to office workers giving away every piece of clothing on their bodies. Though the nudity is all censored, the amusing concept quickly grows uncomfortable as the ad goes on.
Oh, shit.
It was ultimately deemed too much for television. But it's not the only band.
My God, this is such a stereotype. Pillow fights, girls' room. Oh my God. Yeah.
And Bud Light advert to get in trouble. A commercial with an over-the-top pillow fight was criticized for violence. And
This is more accurate. I'm sorry to say, if there is a pillow fight for fun, that's the more accurate version. Yeah, I can tell you that.
yet another ad about 2 skinny dippers was also pulled from screens for the risque content. Number 2, In the Hole, KGB. This is another Super Bowl spot that didn't get past the censors. Designed to be as shocking as possible, it features 2 golfers who get their heads stuck in their rear ends after discussing climate change.
He's got to set up his ass.
This guy.
Not the first time.
The ad makes it clear that they don't really know much about the
Terrible.
subject.
It's scary.
Seeing as KGB is a fact-checking service, the crux of the ad is that if you don't use them, you'll end up just like these unfortunate golfing guys.
Next time your husbands don't have a clue, make sure they text KGB first.
The commercial is definitely funny and memorable. However, CBS kept KGB's ad off its airways. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest
Damn,
videos.
man.
You have the option to be notified for occasional
think
videos
I saw
or
that
all
on
of them.
screen.
If you're on
To
your
be
phone,
honest
make
with
sure
you, I
you go
think I
into
saw
your
it on
settings and
TV.
switch on notifications.
It leaves a memory.
Number 1, the last dictator standing, Nandos. The last thing you should be doing while you're trying to advertise a chicken restaurant is featuring a roster of the world's most notorious dictators.
Those were the days, my friend.
But that's exactly what Nandos did in this insane commercial from 2011.
shit!
It featured
Golden
Zimbabwean
AK.
dictator Robert Mugabe, who was still alive at the time, hanging out with Colonel Gaddafi, Mao Zedong, and even Saddam Hussein.
Oh my
The ad
God,
ends with
they're
the suggestion that
crazy.
Mugabe is
How did they dare? How did they dare make this?
He's upset that his fellow autocrats have been removed from power because he doesn't have anyone to share his chicken with.
No one should ever have to eat alone. So get a Nandos six-pack meal for $6.
They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. But this ad would firmly disagree. After staff received threats of boycotts and even violence, the commercial was pulled.
Do you agree
that
with our
was really
picks?
bad.
Check.
Like, that was you. No, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that. Awkward. Also, seeing Elon Musk next to Putin is awkward. Okay, let's go.